in the ORI sampler after we're done testing. So what we'll do is we'll remove the lid. We can set it off to the side for now. We do want to clean it later, but we'll remove our milk line, pull it out, and what we'll do is, even with the nipple on the end, we'll just submerge that in our bucket of hot water. Second thing is, and also for transportation purposes, we want to release the pressure here. So we push this back, just put this down through the eyelet, and now that is stable in a locked position. Then we can pull that out. We loosen the wing nuts here on the side, here and here. This just pulls right out. We'll submerge that in the water as well. Next thing we can do, we can pull our airline off. We'll want to make sure we wipe the outside of this down. There's no debris left on it as well. Second thing we want to do is we can disconnect this airline here by depressing on that ring and pulling it out like that. We can kind of set it off to the side. Loosen or take these wing nuts right off like this. Put them in a secure place. I'll set them there for this purpose. We want to make sure we lock this back as well, and this one here. Then what we can do is we can actually pull this straight up, turn that a little bit, and we can actually remove the whole piece. Now what this allows us to do is we can wash and wipe this all down here using a brush and soapy water. Just make sure we get all that milk, and we can spin things around, get things all clean, in between, underneath, however we have to do it. Get it all nice and clean. Make sure we get in here, anywhere that milk could have been. Nice and clean. We can set this off to the side, and then we're free to clean the inside of our box. We can just take the brush in here, get this all cleaned out. We'll want to pay attention to these cylinders in the airline. We don't really want to get water on them, but we'll wash the inside. We can rinse that out, and then we're going to do the outside of the box as well, and the lid again, making sure everything's nice and clean. Once it's all clean, then it's just a matter of putting it back together. You can leave this to sit out and dry, or you can put it back in here as well. We'll just set it back in, make sure everything lines up like that. Take our nuts. Well, this should be spun around. We want to make sure this end here is where the holes are. Set it in, then we can put it back together like we would. Once that's all back together, we can come back over to our pail here where our reservoir has been soaking. We can take our syringe again, and we can take the end, and all we got to do is if we suck back and forth, we can kind of get that hose cleaned out a little bit better than what it is. Remove it. You can also pull it off here. Make sure this is all clean inside, and then we're going to want to make sure the inside of the reservoir is nice and clean as best we can. The other thing is too, is this little pipe here is going to have to be cleaned out. So you could just take this hose or the other hose that we have. It doesn't matter how you do it, and we can do the same thing. We'll just pump water back and forth through that pipe, ensuring it's clean best we can. Next, we got our other hose that we're using to fill the line with our nipple on the end. Again, if we leave it submerged in the water, taking one end, and again, doing the exact same thing, flushing water back and forth through that, ensuring it's nice and clean. Once that's done, you may want to run some rinse water through there to get the soap out. Same with the reservoir and its hose. Best thing to do, put it back on like that. What I would recommend doing, you can just feed this back down through and leave it in that position, draining out. If you want, or in any other way you want, take your hose and just drape it over this again, kind of in a position to allow it to drain, and let this all dry while you do your paperwork of your CSR, or until your CSR shows up to pick up, process the test.